What's up, everybody? I'm so sorry I'm so late. This has been the absolute craziest day of my YouTube career ever in life. Thank you for waiting. As you can see, my special surprise guest today is Giselle. Giselle decided that she was going to be on the after show today. So like the video as my intro plays, because I am about to give you a show and fill you in on a whole lot of stuff that you did not know that you needed to know. Like the video.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Could somebody please make it make sense?
Big moves. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
I hope you. We need help, you know? No. Okay.
Y'all, this reunion, the reason I'm late is because I didn't realize the reunion was an hour and a half. I did not expect it, but I want to say thank you to Giselle for showing up. And my drink. Thank you to Patron. Oh, we got another couple thank yous too. So you guys really showed up and showed out. Thank you, Unique Melanie. She says, bring that fire, Mims. I intend to. I started with the foolishness. Okay. So if you remember, I did a video with Tony, who was Peter's ex-girlfriend. It was an exclusive interview. If you have not seen that video, definitely check it out. It was a really good video. Tony was a great interview. I enjoyed it. If you follow and you are subscribed to my page, you'll know that I received a message from Mia, who basically actually acknowledged that she understood that I'm fair and she wanted to give her side of the story. So Mia sent me text messages, videos. G saw my interview, had some things to say. I'm going to release that video tomorrow because what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to be a different type of blogger. It's very easy to be extremely salacious, but what I try to do is, even if it's a salacious topic, I'm giving you my opinion and my truth. But I'm shady but fair. And fair means that you give both sides. So that's what I'm going to do. After I do my video where Mia gives her side, then I will definitely allow Tony, if she wants to, she's welcome on my platform anytime to give her response. That's what it's about. But so that happened. I was absolutely shocked when I got DMs from Mia. I have a whole bunch to say on Sharice, Katie, all that video. Look out for that one. Maybe I'll do that one Tuesday or Monday, but I have some extra information and some PR stuff to give you in that one as well. But anyway, Tony says, did you believe her? Look, I'm here to just give you guys what's out there. However you feel about it, however it shakes in the wash is up for the viewing audience. I'm just here to facilitate people getting their stories out. Just FYI. We got to talk about this show. Giselle, what did you think? Quiet. Giselle doesn't have anything to say yet. Kind of like when Chris hushed her. Oh, we have like almost 600 people in here, so Let's get the likes up to at least 300. Some of you donated to Tony's father's cancer surgery after it aired. So Tony will be getting those cash apps. I already told her there would be more to come. I just want to say thank you, Pink Plastic, Siobhan, Miss Brady, Doris Griffin, Michelle Dandy, Tita. Yes, Tita did donate to Tony's father. Frida, T. Norris, Lolo, Devana, and Micah. All of those will be sent directly to Tony. Tony already received the first set right after the show aired, or the interview aired on Friday. Thank you for everybody who gave. Cancer affects a lot of people, but let's get into the show. It starts off with Mia being called unhinged. In the group chat, Mia alleged that Jacqueline had been through a foreclosure and that she was on food stamps. Again, it's weird. I'm sorry, guys. It's weird to have two people who have been friends for so long airing out all of their grievances for the world. I know we're accustomed to that on reality shows, but a lot of these women didn't have the history that Jacqueline and Mia had. So for me, it is kind of weird to see the back and forth. At this point, I don't even know. I don't even, it's so deep and so personal, and there's so many friendships impacted. It's almost starting to feel like Jersey. Somebody said Karen wasn't present. We're going to get on Karen, and the Karen fans may not like me after, but we're going to get on Karen. Jacqueline alleges that Mia's family business is in shambles and that she was never a CEO. Side note, Mia sent me a lot of information about her businesses, so we'll get into that in the video. And that she lied about Mother's Day. This is a core issue that people have with Mia. A lot of people feel as though Mia just throws out very harmful things with like reckless abandon, and that she doesn't really care about who she's saying, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be true. So that's a problem. She spent an hour over the phone with Jacqueline's mother, and she interpreted that as, I was with your mom on Mother's Day, but you weren't. I guess the question would be, Jacqueline, were you? I mean, I know everybody doesn't spend every Mother's Day with... Hold on. Tita, I'm on live right now, buddy. I just mentioned you, actually. I definitely will. I sent you my number. Text me. I sent you my number in the chat a while back. No, everybody say hey to Tita. Let's see. But why does it matter? Why does what matter? Tell me in the chat. Elias Tota said, did you see the look on Rob the Builder's face when G was crying? I did. It gave I don't believe it. I did. Thank you so much, Totas. Giselle saying we don't need all of this and then laughing. I want you guys to remember or think back to Giselle's face when Monique had that binder and all of Jamal's stuff was being spilled and poured all over the reunion floor. Again, it gives Mean Girls. It gives, I don't know if I would go as far as to say what Candace had to say, but it definitely gives you like, I'm the only one that's important. Giselle, do you have a response? Okay, no, she's still quiet. But it definitely feels as though the only time that Giselle wants to hear anything is if she is the one who has initiated or if she values what's being said. When Monique was doing all that to her with the binder, the room was silent. Everybody was saying, why do you, what's the point of this? But when Giselle does it to other people, Robin will jump in. So it felt like a form of bullying, and it felt like Giselle was diminishing both Jacqueline and Mia. And I really do wish that somebody would have turned to Giselle and just said, hey, Giselle, can I borrow some Every Hue? I need a touch up. I want people to just start hushing Giselle the way, like I told you guys, I did not like when Mia was trying to explain her business and they were like literally laughing at her when most of them don't have businesses to to speak of. That kind of stuff, it feels petty and it feels like bullying, and I wish that they would have I stopped watching the reunion so I could catch it live. Oh, thanks, Tony. Tony is a real one. Thank you so much. I appreciate the Cash App. I appreciate the continued support. Definitely. And the In Your Craft company. She keeps her ear to the streets and she sends me stuff almost like every morning with tea. So thank you so much, the In Your Craft company. Do you guys remember when it was Candace's first season and Candace had called Charisse like a geriatric granny or something, and Giselle jumped in and she was like, you need to apologize. And Candace is like, why? And she goes, you need to apologize because Charisse is my friend and I'm telling you to. Who are you, lady? Do you guys remember that scene? Like, who are you? And more importantly, why do the women let her behave like this? Because if they didn't let her do this, she wouldn't be able to. Just saying. Just saying. Oh wait, who's this? I'm almost nervous now to get phone calls. So you guys do remember. Y'all are remembering that. Giselle did not take Monique's phone like a champ. The cutout breakdown as to not embarrass her. Yeah, I don't know. At this point, guys, I almost have to blame the women for allowing her to behave like that. In my real life, you don't get to treat me a certain way and you don't get to talk to me a certain way. And if we were on the show, I would echo those same sentiments. Flat out. Savannah, what is that behind you? Giselle decided to join me for the third part of this reunion. Let's see. Gordon doesn't trust her. And Gordon actually reached out to Jacqueline to find out where Mia was when she was visiting Atlanta. And Mia was supposed to be doing lunch with her ex. That was a bit of tea. Probably Gordon does not trust Mia because of how he got Mia. He didn't get Mia in a very trustworthy way. So he probably in the back of his mind feels like anything could happen. When in actuality, Gordon, technically you couldn't be trusted either because you cheated on your wife with her. Mims, you missed my chat. You sent me a super chat? Let me see. Leah Thomas. I'm not seeing it. No, I don't see it. Go ahead, Autumn, and put whatever you put in that super chat just in the don't put it in another super chat, just put it in the comments and I'll highlight it. Sorry. I didn't mean to. Let's see. Jacqueline did not have with Gordon, and Gordon did not pay her down payment for a car. Now, that was kind of big because I might have I don't know that I would have told people that. Now, Jacqueline, even though you exposed Mia in that, you also exposed yourself. So how do people respond to that? It makes people feel like you are not trustworthy. I almost wish you would have kept that one to yourself. Because now it gives other people like the ability to question everything you say. I didn't personally believe that Autumn in LA, YouTube doesn't show them milestone super chats. It really angers me with that. Oh, okay. sorry. Okay, so now I see what you're saying. So I have a member, Autumn in LA. She has been a member for at least a few months, and YouTube allowed her to do a super chat. But yeah, I can't see it on my end. So just do a regular post, and I will highlight it for you. Sorry about that. Blame YouTube. Unity Cooper TV says Candace is the real MVP of RHOP. Candace brought the fire. Candace bought the fire. Brought the fire. Sorry. I'll just say that. Thank you so much, Unity Cooper. You guys can put in the chat because I'm a straight shooter, pow pow. What did you think about Jacqueline admitting that Mia coerced her into kind of playing up that role and alluding that Gordon had paid for her down payment on her car? Behind the scenes, what I know about Jacqueline is Jacqueline actually is a very accomplished woman. So I'm glad that she decided to kind of end that. But I'm not going to lie, you guys. The real person in me, if they were to come to a meeting of the minds, I wouldn't even be mad because it started to get uncomfortable seeing them fight. I know that some of this was put on for the cameras with like the whole car thing, but I do think that both women are probably hurt. Just saying, y'all can destroy me in the comments if you want, but I wouldn't be mad if they became friends again. And that's just maybe the softie in me. Giselle saying, you are a grown woman. If somebody asks you if you have, you need to answer it. Giselle's actually... As much as I want to say that Giselle is right in this moment, it just goes into what I just say. Giselle acts like she is a producer and they're filming a confessional. And the expectation is that the women are supposed to answer this woman. You are not big sis Giselle to these women. You're a coworker. I wish one of my coworkers would come up to me asking me about my non-existent sex life. Y'all know nobody's defiled my temple. Kudos to Jacqueline for addressing it. I just don't like that she lied, even if it was for Mia. It didn't age well. Giselle versus Candace. Blah blah blah. On to them sleeping with married men. So Jacqueline says she did not sleep with a married man. Mia actually says you did. And we, as the viewing audience, really won't. Tabitha, I'm not about to slap Giselle. G. Allen says Real Housewives of Lies. I think you meant of Lies. If you're just coming in, smash the like button. We have almost 900 people watching. I think 500-600 would be a good like goal. Definitely, it helps the channel. Let me see where we're at. We are at 300 likes. Y'all, there is 900 watching. I think got Giselle to come and film with me. Y'all could hit that like button. I say 500. Birds of a feather. Oh, y'all are going in this chat. Y'all are definitely going in the chat. We get into Mia feeling like Jacqueline was insinuating that she didn't get enough D at home because she specifically knew that G had prostate cancer and he is now allegedly impotent. I didn't like this. And to be honest, I didn't like this for G. A lot of people have told me that G gets what he gets because he cheated on his wife with Mia. I get that, but as a man, I just would not want me not being able to perform being front and center. I'm assuming that Mia was trying to basically kind of destroy Jacqueline and insinuate that Jacqueline was making fun of a cancer victim. That's the only reason that I could see her throwing G's alleged impotency out there. I didn't like it. Y'all could put in the comments, that to me, I just would never say anything about a cancer patient. Maybe if G didn't mind that she said it, okay, but the impotency thing, it just leads to so many questions like, okay, well, is this why y'all bring people? It adds more layers. And let me say this. It doesn't have to be so sexual. And I think that Mia a lot of the time leads with sex. I've said this before. This isn't the show for that. Like when Mia first came on and I saw her and I was like, wow, she's so pretty. And she was a, CEO of her company. And a lot of the Potomac girls don't really have a lot of money. So I was like, okay, I saw the pictures were released early. It was a good look. But the more, she leads with sex and the lies, it takes her down a path where the fans are not feeling it. So if she comes back next season, she's really going to have to do the work to show a different side of her. Because for these first 2 seasons, people do not like that. And even if she was like following Giselle's lead with the, I'm going to, add a little sauce to it, play things up, at least Giselle tries to cover her tracks. Mia just comes out and says, okay, well, I was wrong or I lied. She's going to need to do something different to appeal to a broader fan base because this isn't working. Not so much sexual stuff. Shade, great. Sexual stuff, leave that on the cutting room floor. She says that she has text messages alleging that Jacqueline was in love with a married man, but she chose not to produce them. That is strange. Now, I showed you guys that she apologized to Jacqueline a few days ago in a video. So it could be one of 2 things. Maybe she kind of saw that her plan didn't work and it ruined a friendship. Maybe she saw the fans weren't feeling that. That's probably more of the reason. But she chose not to completely air Jacqueline out for either those reasons, or maybe she didn't have anything to air. I guess we'll have to talk to Jacqueline to find out. But yeah, do better. Do better. Charisse enters the room. Now, Shasha enters the room. Y'all, don't destroy this lady in the comments. Y'all love to say who she looks like. Y'all been liking this lady to everything from a cartoon character to a walrus. Charisse is, I don't know. Now that we know that Andy and them wanted her back, I don't know what to make of that. We'll get into it. Robin wants people to know that Charisse is friends with everybody except Wendy and Karen. Robin, get off it. Rob the Builder has a literal hard-on for Wendy at this point. I said it, and I'm not taking it back. She literally cannot not say or do something to try and put Wendy down. It looks desperate at this point. Be shady, but that was just not Robin sucks. Haley, Charisse gives nothing. And I don't know if that was Charisse's fault or the producer's fault, but she definitely left a lot to be expected. Where are we at? Did Karen need Charisse? Now, y'all, if you are a Karen fan, y'all are about to possibly be mad. I'm just going to say it. Karen, based on this reunion, if Charisse had not nudged you and really came at you, what would you have brought? I already said it. I like Karen. She's one of my favorite on the show, but she really gave absolutely nothing until Charisse activated her. You did not deserve to be as first seat next to Andy. That looks like they gave you that seat for vanity. But for the first two parts of this reunion, you really weren't there. You made a few funny comments. You know, I like when you shade the girls, Karen, but you guys can tell me if you are a Karen fan, I'm sure you're going to let me have it. But my opinion is Karen's biggest package involved Charisse. And if you are a star of the show and you're sitting next to Andy, then Candace should have been sitting next to Andy. I don't know if he still doesn't like her. I did a whole video on it. You guys can check that out. It was basically like Candace and Andy hate each other. And this is why. It was a deep dive. I went all the way back to Candace's first season. Definitely check that video out. It took hours of research, but that's what I came to. They really don't like each other. Candace deserved to be in that seat. And I like Karen, but Andy has literally had to push Karen to get involved in conversations. And the conversation that Karen did have, it leaves the audience feeling like, girl, you cheated on Ray. What is that? You should be turning all of this around. I don't like the narrative. Let's try to destroy Karen's marriage. Let's try to destroy Karen's marriage. I have an unhappy marriage. I'm going to try. We don't know the inner workings of Karen and Ray. And for all of the girls to pile on to that is not cute. But Karen, you actually needed Charisse. As boring as y'all say Charisse was, the only times we really saw Karen activated was in fighting with Charisse. And that says a lot. What's the real reason they don't like Wendy? Karen would have fell flat this season, but we love her, so it's okay. Thank you so much for the super chat, Leah. Please. We're seeing each other. She definitely fell flat, and I do still love her because she's funny. She brings fashion. I think she looks great for a 59-year-old. Natasha sent me this picture today. Let me show you guys what Karen is giving on a regular day. I think she was at Watch What Happens Live. Let's see. Natasha. Y'all, this is what Karen is looking like on a regular day. So I think Karen is over. We don't care. Child Ray and probably gives Karen a free pass. We don't know that, but what we do know is that her coworkers continuously tried to destroy her marriage, and I'm saying it. I don't like it. Just saying. So y'all, I see you guys are split in the chat about the colorism thing. Y'all, we are gonna get into it, and you might be surprised at what I have to say. Let's see. Charisse, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What did you guys think specifically about Andy kind of checking Karen and letting her know how she looked on camera, and specifically that Charisse was not brought on to destroy her? They invited Charisse back without her being Karen in mind. Karen, you know, doing her nails and stuff like that. Karen, it gives off that this woman might be saying something real because you tried to shut Andy down, and he kind of came back and was like, no, this is what it is. You almost should play the game at this point because you're comfortable with everybody else playing the game. You play your bits and pieces like everybody else. You're going to have to give it. Karen is on Watch What Happens Live now. I'm going to start learning how to get on there and ask questions, y'all. And watch. When I get on Watch What Happens Live, Giselle will be there with me. I'll make sure to dress up nice, clean myself up, whatever. But Giselle will be my date for Watch What Happens Live if they ever let me on that show, because I don't think these people like me. Charisse was lying all season on Karen. Right. I do think that the stuff that Charisse said was not stuff that Charisse knew to be true, maybe just stuff that she had heard. It's important to say, though, that all of these women do that. Charisse, Giselle, Karen. Now we got a whole lawsuit coming up with Candace and the alleged gentleman of the night and Michael. So I will be looking out for that. I have already pledged, if that lawsuit goes to trial, Make It Make Sense will be at that trial. If I gotta pawn every hat that I have to make it to trial, I will. I will be there. Thank you, Sheila, for the super chat. Karen had a DUI years ago. That was a lie. They absolutely brought Charisse back to go in on Karen. Karen just whipped Giselle a new one. You gonna bring Giselle? Are you gonna bring? I'm not gonna bring Giselle to the trial, but I'll bring Giselle to watch what happens live. If they let me do a video, I sure will. Any comments? No. Is Jamal coming? No. Why am I like this? Why am I sleeping? Ugh. Why wouldn't Karen go to lunch with Charisse? But okay, that was a good question. Karen, why wouldn't you at least go to lunch with Charisse? You know you were on a show with this woman. Not, of course not. You know that you are on a show with this woman. So at the very least, you could have gone. But this whole, I'm not going to talk about it because it's going to involve my mom. You've talked about, I know that your mother's death is a sensitive issue, but you have talked about it multiple times. Somebody said, what's in the cup? A screwdriver. Just Patron and some organic orange juice. Organic orange juice because I'm really healthy. Why should she? Let's see. But didn't Karen say on the show she called her to go to lunch? Yeah, I wrote all this down. I just feel like there is something weird about and I told you guys on my last review, I feel like Karen and Giselle are in cahoots. And that's why Giselle could say much more inflammatory things about Karen, and Karen will continuously forgive her. There is something to be said about that. Maybe it is just organic. I don't know. But I told you guys, Charisse, thank you, just simply. We got 1,100 people in here and only 500 likes. Giselle, let them know. Giselle says, like the video, y'all. Why do I feel like Judy from Bad Girls Club with the voodoo doll? I don't know. This is gonna have to go in the garage. I can't. It's disrespectful for somebody to bring up. I'm not a Charisse apologist because I do feel like the stuff that she was saying about Karen was not accurate. It was just stuff that she might have heard. But this was a cop-out, and I'm a straight shooter, pow. I called it like I see it. Refusing to answer any questions and saying that it was about her mother was a cop-out. Just like, and y'all, Giselle fans, go ahead and move closely to your earpiece. I am saying here, it was a cop-out on the season when Giselle and Karen were going at it. And Karen said the reason that she was so upset was because that Giselle had risked on Ray years ago. That is a cop-out. And you guys know, if you are one of my subscribers and you follow me, you know I lead with logic. What I lack in emotion, I make up in logic. You now have established a pattern that if you are backed in the corner, you will come up with anything that you can, Karen, to get out of the conversation. That was the argument. That was the season where they had the argument about Sing Sing and all that, and a broken down whore from Hampton University. That was that season. And when asked why you said all those things, it was because she had wished the D word on Ray years ago. No, that's not it. And you can't continue to do that. Just like Giselle should not be allowed to really force these women to answer questions that she would not answer about her own life or marriage. Andy asked her, And she said, I'm not going to talk about my stuff with people that I'm not uncomfortable with, but people are expected to do it with you, Giselle. Eric, if you're watching this, and now I know people from Bravo watch my stuff, which is absolutely crazy. Eric, if you're watching this, make Karen and Giselle have to put into the show what all the rest of the girls have to put into their show about their personal lives. Just saying. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate about that, but I had to sound off. So Karen has said she cut the woman off as soon as the woman alleged things about blue eyes, even though she didn't cut Giselle off about the same stuff. But then they brought all the receipts where she had invited her to her very intimate birthday party. And then Karen was like, well, no, Matt invited. If Matt, and now I'm starting to believe some of the things they've said about Karen's assistant. He likes to hang out with the girls. He likes to, have a drink, and he likes to throw Karen under the bus. That's what was alleged. Karen even still uses him. If he is talking to your enemies about you, that's not a good look. If he is inviting people to your intimate birthday party that you don't want there, that's not a good look. Karen, Karen is an actual boss. She has companies. She has candles. Do better. Then we get into the semantics of it all. All I put was, I'm annoyed. I can't go back. I can't continue to go back. Mia alleges that Karen has a boyfriend, and she says, and I wrote this down, it was family. And when asked what part of the family, she said best friend's daughter. So I don't really know what that was about, but it was kind of weird. Just saying. I don't know where Mia was going with that. Karen says she would sue the person. My question, Karen, is are you still cool with Mia after she threw, gasoline on the fire that you were burning in? Like, do you forgive her, but you can't forgive Charisse? Just saying. And Rolling Stone did an article on Bravo as a whole, and it's really about like believability of these storylines. When I do my video about Drew and Charisse and Katie, it'll be included in that. But believability is starting to be a problem, which is why I'm saying if Mia gets called back, she's gonna have to revamp some of the things that she says. I don't know. Write it down like Nene. If you can't remember what hold on, let me see. Mims, you claim to have a goddaughter. Is she no family to you? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Explain, and I'll put your thing up. I don't quite understand what you're trying to say there. I just said that I didn't understand best friend's daughter in terms of a man that she was with. But that's what I wrote down. If you guys heard something else when she described who the family was, then please let me know. Wendy made a very good point. She says when everyone in this group gets mad when there is a rumor about them, but everyone in this group revels in telling all the rumors about the other cast members, and Andy had to agree. So, what's up, Cody? I see you in here. She says, and Karen has every right not to F with Charisse, and Charisse has every right to talk about her mom. Oh, wow. Cody is activated. Let me see. I think it was Burley. I don't see Burley's second comment. So, Robin is not... Robin likes to say that they get a lot of calls about the rumors. I'm sitting there looking. Is it just me? Or for this entire reunion, every time Robin spoke, I was thinking, well, you didn't tell us about Juan. Well, we didn't hear anything about Juan. Every time Robin had something to say, that's what I got out of it. We didn't hear you say anything about Juan. If Robin comes back next season, it's going to be like the season where Portia came back after the rumors came out to be false about Candy. Every time somebody said something to her, well, you didn't say that about Candy. Robin's thing is, well, you didn't say that about Juan and that woman. Every time that Robin comes back on screen, that's what it's going to be about. Robin not inviting Wendy's kids. All I wrote was dumb. They do a whole package about Robin. Nobody cares. 7 years, a 3-year engagement, and you finally got married. Everybody's happy. But are we? Giselle seemed a little pressed. And in my head, I was thinking, Giselle, you can't get an invite because you're Robin's mistress. Why would Juan? Just kidding. Why would Juan want you there? They're trying to start fresh. You trying to throw a monkey wrench in. Tony says, Karen doesn't like chair Charisse. I wouldn't go anywhere with someone I don't fool with. True, Tony. I agree with you. But you're on a show and you're also playing the game. You're playing the same game that she is. So you kind of got to play it. Yakuti says, I felt the same way about Betty DeVille not talking about Juan. Why is Robin Betty DeVille? Just saying. No, that won't. Don't take me seriously, guys. These have to be fun. And you guys know that we will be going into Ultimate Girls Trip. I don't know if I'll be doing those live or not, but we got Portia back on television. You know I'm going to be there. You know I will be there for sure. Happy they changed their mind. I heard that them flowers at the wedding was day old flowers that they were about to throw away. Just kidding. Just kidding. Everything looked beautiful. Kudos to Juan and Robin. Hopefully they can actually, make it work this time. But this whole prenup 50-50 and there's no infidelity clause. What? This ninja stays cheating on you and you don't have an infidelity clause, so he can cheat on you again, which you probably won't divorce him for because that's just what you do. You stick around with him, but he could cheat on you again and you choose to divorce and you have to split the proceeds from your gas station hats with this man. Make it make sense. Y'all make it make sense. But I was with Andy. No infidelity clause. All right. Karen being Juan's girlfriend. Karen says that you need name, pictures, and numbers. But when she makes a claim, she doesn't have those things. Her info is blogs and gossip. Karen, you just kept sticking your foot in your mouth this whole time. Not as giving 4 for 4. Wait, not a trucker hat. I have on a trucker hat. Oh, wait, no, I don't. My Make It Make Sense hat is a trucker hat. I like trucker hats. This is sick silk. Not gas station hat. Well, yeah. What's up, House of Princess? Say hello to Giselle. Giselle, you want to talk about the embezzlement? No, Giselle doesn't want to talk. Giselle is over me already. Wouldn't it be crazy wouldn't it be crazy if Giselle watched these? Guys, I don't really dislike Giselle. My expectation of a star of a show is probably a little bit higher than the rest of the cast. And so that's why Giselle comes up. I do technically think that Giselle and Karen are the stars of these shows. Thanks, Satra. 1,300 watching, only 600 likes. Y'all, we got 1,300. I think 900 is a good like goal. Definitely hit that like button, y'all. If you're just getting in here and you don't know what's going on today, Mia actually reached out to me and she sent me receipts and stuff. And I will be doing a video tomorrow morning. Look out for that video tomorrow morning. I was really shocked that Mia reached out, but I'm a fair content creator and I will be, discussing all sides because that's what fair people do. Remember, you guys, we're doing something different here. Not only are we on YouTube to, have fun, be a little messy, be a little shady, we also give back and we're also fair on this platform. Just saying. I can't stand Giselle after the season. Giselle is the half star of the show. Embezzled hats. Yeah. Oh, Giselle, you want an embezzled hat? No, she don't want one. She says they're cheap. So they're asking if Robin confronted Juan after. Not can you get Jizzy to do her wacky dance? No, she's not amused by the comment, Liliana. She said no. Thank you for the super chat. Is Mia's receipts photoshopped? No, I don't think they are. We get Robin did not confront Juan about the things that Karen said because she knew that the woman was brunette. It wasn't that there wasn't a woman. It was that the woman didn't look like what Karen had alleged. They also go in to say that she was ripped apart for the family fun event. This is true, and she should have been ripped apart. Mia throwing out that Robin is pretty regular took me out. I'm not even gonna lie. Is regular the new way to say cheap or broke or basic? What do you think Mia meant when she said Robin was regular? Is she talking about her baubles? Because Robin is pretty regular in that sense, but I don't know. Andy even thought it was cheap. Now that's not a good sign. If they're paying Robin anywhere between what $400,000-$600,000 a year, or maybe more, and you can't even actually hire an event planner. Robin is regular. It means basic. $15 took me out. There's oh wow, y'all are going in basic, boring, y'all. Y'all are going in. Yeah, I didn't get that. Wendy had a good point. You wanted to alienate her kids, and asking Candace to take this woman's kids to a filmed event when Candace has never been alone with these very young children was absolutely crazy. I talked about it on the episode. I thought it was trash. And it's one of the reasons that people don't mess with Robin to this day. They really didn't like that. We get into Robin answering any questions about Juan's impending lawsuit. I didn't think she would say anything, but what she said was putting her foot in her mouth, and Andy had to kind of help her. She said that Juan was used as clickbait when he was named in the lawsuit. You guys, if you don't know, the lawsuit basically alleges that there was a young man under Juan's tutelage who was catfished by another young man who used to play basketball, who Juan employed as like an assistant coach. This man tricked this young, impressionable boy into doing unthinkable things with him. And allegedly, Juan was told about this, but instead of reporting it as would be required of a, official, a coach, he chose not to. And Robin is saying that this is not true and that Juan was just used as clickbait. So when Andy tried to help her and get it to clean it up, like, well, are you saying that the boy's allegations were not true? She quickly said, no, I believe the boy. Well, how can you believe the boy when part of the boy's allegations were that Juan knowingly knew about it and chose not to report it up? I can't make it make sense. So is it that she really believes the things that Juan tells her, or it's alleged that Robin used to be in PR? Is she just standing by her man to also ensure that she doesn't go down? I don't know, but that's not something I would have touched at all because it's very easily provable. If this boy has any type of text message, email where he told Juan that this happened, then it happened. So we get into a part of this. Now, when I heard this specific part of the episode where Gordon is now talking about, him and Mia, and he kind of shed a tear when he was talking about Mia's health stuff. When asked about him actually, what's the term I'm looking for? When Gordon was asked about whether he and Mia's friends were, he said that there was no penetration. Now, y'all, so are you alluding to this foreplay scenario with Jacqueline and Tony? Like, I just interviewed Tony. If you're just coming in here, Tony, and I interviewed Friday. Check that interview out. It was an exclusive, to which Mia actually responded to that interview, and so did Gordon. I'll release that video tomorrow. What are you trying to say? Because Mia has already told us that you have difficulty doing the do because of being a prostate cancer survivor. So what are we doing here? I almost wish that some of those statements had been walked back, because it's not necessary for the sake of the show. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know why it's so important to put that sexual stuff out. I don't know. So that would be, and I don't know if he was alleging if it was Tony or Jacqueline or other people. Like, what is that? Are the threesome stories recent or a long time ago? Now, here's what I think. Because when they said that Mia lost her home in Potomac, and she also had to give up her rentals in North Carolina, a home and an apartment, the way I was thinking is, if you have all these children, the apartment would probably be more like a boom boom room. So maybe she had to give up the boom boom room. I don't know. It's very convoluted, and it's a lot. These things, I would have just walked that back and dialed down the sexual stuff. We're getting into Chris versus Giselle. Chris said that he actually was the one who asked Giselle if they could go to his room. I did not like that. I don't know. I don't mind the fact that he asked her to go to the room to talk. It gives credence to what Giselle said when she said that Chris was like the one who wanted to go there. So for that one little part, I'm like, Chris, again, you're feeding into Giselle's hands. Giselle got that text message from you where she tried to allege that you admitted this, and now you are having to walk back your comment that you're 99% sure that Giselle was the one that invited you to her room. He didn't say that. No, he didn't say that. He said that they can agree to disagree. No, I wrote it down. Chris said that he did ask her to go to the room to talk. Okay, so y'all are saying he said, let's say that I said that. Well, I don't like it. Let's not even say that you said that, because I have Chris's back in this situation. Don't give her the benefit of the doubt. Don't text her. He said, let's agree to disagree. He said it hypothetically. No, ma'am. Okay, so I'm going to go with you guys. I know you guys have my best interest at heart. Y'all are saying that no, he did not say that. It was a hypothetical. I don't like the hypothetical. Just saying. I thought I heard him say, let's go to your room. He said he did ask her. That's why they replayed the footage. Okay, so I'm not crazy. I wrote down that Chris said that. But this is verbatim. It said, Chris said, I asked her to go to her room so that we could talk. That's what was said. This was the breakdown. I don't like it either. She should have said no. We want to keep you honest. I mean, that's what I heard. Mims don't like the hop. I don't. I didn't like what they did to Chris. I didn't like what they did to Chris at all. So we move on to him telling her to effing spit it out. And she said, you're not going to talk to me like that. And Candace says she was a gutter snipe. Straight out of the hood. No, Candace said some words that I can't say on YouTube. But after that, Andy looked uncomfortable. Giselle alleges that Chris was drunk and that Chris had said goodbye to Cal, meaning that Chris knew that Giselle would be alone. Now, all of that to me was a reach. I was with Chris, so you only have one person on your glam squad. And I was thinking, okay, well, that's why she be looking like this. If Cal is her only person, this explains these looks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Giselle. Even if Chris had been drinking, let me say what my core issue with this is. I put myself in both people's situation. If I'm having a conversation with my wife and somebody who at that point I was cool with says, are you okay? And, it comes to, well, let's go talk. And we go to talk in your room. Right off rip, I'm not going to be uncomfortable because you have agreed to this. It wasn't like you said, let's go talk in the hallway. And he said, let's go talk in the room. You agreed to let the man in your room. If you thought that maybe somebody else was in your room, okay, I'm understanding Giselle in that part. You thought somebody else was in the room. But where I don't understand is after you found out that nobody else was in your room, then why did you go in at all? There would be no reason for you to feel uncomfortable because you could just simply say, oh, nobody's in here. Let's go talk somewhere else. Let's go talk in Robin's room. Let's talk in the hallway. I'm glad that Andy really moderated this specific point, but I'm a little annoyed at Andy because when we see him do these things for other people, if somebody says something as egregious as what Giselle is trying to play up about somebody, Andy's usually upset. If Candace was doing that to somebody else, I feel like Andy would be upset. If Kenya was doing that to somebody else, I feel like Andy would check her or be a little bit more pointed. So, I mean, I feel like, great, Andy, you finally held Giselle's feet to the fire, but I feel like you should have been doing this a long time ago. And a good point to point out is allegedly when Monique pulled out that binder and was saying all those things about Giselle and Jamal, allegedly Giselle had a whole breakdown and the producers chose not to show that. Anybody has a breakdown, it gets showed. Yakriti says, now I do not agree with Chris yelling at the succubus, but I'll allow it. I'm not going to say that I don't agree with it. To be honest with you, I'm a person that, I don't hit women or anything like that. But this man's name was dragged through the mud for no reason. He has a right to be passionate. Just saying, if you have a right to spew venom and dirty ugliness, he has a right to be passionate about his honor because that's really what came into question. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate that. I am Diva Nicole says he asked to talk to her. She said, let's go to her room. Even her first time telling the story on camera, she said that going to her room was her idea because she thought her glam squad would be in the room. Thank you. I am Diva Nicole. That's what I thought too, but I thought I heard on this reunion. Maybe I'm tempted to turn on this television and fact check it in real time, but we'll just do it on Tuesday. Tuesday is when I do my new live subscriber call-in shows. When we do that, we'll be able to talk about Tony, Nia, the reunion. That'll be on Tuesday. Also, tomorrow I'll be on Jamie That's Me's page, or Jamie That's Me's channel at 1:30 Central. Thank you, I am Demon Nicole. And I got a super sticker from Patricia George. Thank you so much, Patricia. I appreciate that. So it was very important, and we drilled down on there is a difference between how he made you feel, not what he did. And Giselle feels like if somebody makes her feel a certain way, even though they didn't per se do anything to make her feel a way, she expects that you will apologize. What is that? If this man had hugged her inappropriately or touched her or talked about her body parts the way she consistently talks about his, let's talk about that. A woman can say and do things like talk about a man's GENITAL, and it's okay. But if Chris had been talking about her, it would have been a problem. So I'm glad that Chris came out and said, I really do not like you talking about my on camera all the time. If Candace did it, that's fine. But you continued with that joke and you kind of made it a part of your storyline. Hold on, Kadi, let me read this before I highlight it. Because, you know, Kadi, okay, this one's safe. She says, so women can say whatever they want to men, but men can't respond in kind. Now that's true equality. Hypocrites. I'm with you. The expectation that he's supposed to keep his voice level when people say things like that, whether it's true or not, it sticks. And technically, if this is the reason that he lost his job, then Giselle could possibly be liable for that. When you are trying to prove defamation, you need to prove that there were damages, monetary damages to your life. If you lost your job over this, that applies. Andy really got in her ass about it. I like that. Chris, you should have never DM'd Ashley. If you knew that Ashley and your wife really truthfully never got along, this whole friendly thing that you have, hopefully it ends with this season, because you're giving these women fodder. You are giving them ammunition to go after Candace when you know they really don't like Candace. And I've said this many times. Candace and these, oh, we should be real girlfriends. They don't like you. Chris didn't DM Ashley. That's a technicality. But when you reply to a story, it shows up as a DM. Just saying. He should not reply to her stories. If we're being specific and we're going on semantics, he should not reply to her stories. He should not speak to any of these women. They do not have your best friend. Commenting on a story is not a DM. It shows up as a DM. It goes to your DMs. Stop it, y'all. Now, y'all know I'm a straight shooter and I'm fair. Y'all are all saying the same thing. He didn't. He responded to her story. Straight shooter here. I like Chris. I have no reason to shade Chris, but I'm also honest. When you respond to a DM, when you respond to a story, it shows up in your direct messages, y'all. Just saying. That's not a mannequin, that's Giselle. It goes to your DM on IG. Okay, so there we go. A DM and commenting on a story are different, but I do agree he should stay away. Again, we're playing with semantics, but I'm a straight shooter, pow, and I'll stand on that. I like Chris. I would love to actually go and hang out. Chris seems like a fun guy. He knows how to cook. I've seen his Facebook page, but don't give them fodder. Okay, now we're getting into it. The sneaky link stuff, Giselle, you were absolutely wrong. What's up, Sodeb? You were absolutely wrong in that. And Giselle saying she was uncomfortable, technically, If you're in a room alone with the man, you have every right to be uncomfortable. What you do not have the right to do is try to turn that into a storyline to destroy this man. You do not have the right to do that, and you are absolutely wrong. But Giselle will never truthfully admit all of her wrongdoings, and Andy is not going to make her. We've just come to that conclusion. That's just, what it is. So Giselle asked if she's entitled to her feelings, to which Candace replied, "You are privileged with your privileged white-looking ass." Now, we do know that colorism does exist. However, I don't know if it necessarily fit into what we were talking about. And this is why I'm saying that. Giselle making those claims, although they were disgusting, I don't think that Giselle received privilege in that, because we, the audience who heard it, A, didn't believe her, and B, wrung her over the coals. We all dragged Giselle to hell and back. So I don't think that she received any light skin privilege there, because we didn't believe her. I think the light skin privilege or white privilege or whatever you want to interpret it as would come when a woman like Giselle made those claims, and automatically, without proof or anything, the police, the world, the viewing audience believes her. That's why I do not think that her light skin privilege worked the way that Candace said, because Candace, we sided with you. That's what I don't believe. I don't believe Giselle had privilege in that. Now, to make those claims and they be false, and the network doesn't say anything, that is a privilege. But in terms of the producers the audience, it's the entitlement that she has on the show. It did work because she is still on the show. Guys, follow me here. Giselle is still on the show after making false claims, just like Karen is still on the show after making false claims, just like Robin is still on the show after making false claims, just like Charisse is on the show after making false claims, just like Wendy potentially made false claims. And we don't know if the claims that Candace made about the gentleman of the night are true or not. We don't know if she heard it directly from him. We don't know. But all of these women have made claims. Do I think that Giselle has some form of privilege on the show with the producers and the network? Yes. But in terms of what she did to Chris, we saw through it. So they all be lying. I feel fine, Kim. Now, Mims. Just saying. Let's see. Candace is right. Giselle's proximity to whiteness is the issue. White women are seen and believed more than black women. Now, we're going to get into that. That is true. But in this situation, Giselle was not believed. Now, if you were somebody in my chat who believed Giselle, then okay, we'll go with there was privilege. But nobody believed her. She made a false claim, and we raked her over the coals for it. I know that a lot of times if you really just don't like somebody, anything anybody says, let's see. Some sided with Candace, not all. I don't know anybody who sided with Giselle in that. But her husband, look, I'm glad that she wasn't believed, but she tried to use that privilege. There you go. What did I say, April? Production should be fired for letting you for the lies pass. Yes, she was. Chris' life was affected. I think that everybody I know didn't believe. But if y'all have some proof to the otherwise, I'm here. Some people did believe her. Chris lost jobs. So let's move on to the Wendy situation. Wendy tried to pull Candace back from the statement. I didn't like that. I did not like that because it felt like you were not backing your friend up. It felt almost networky. The network had you guys have this conversation, and all of you said that there was no colorist on the panel. But then when Candace gets mad, she talks about Giselle's light skin privilege. I felt like all of those conversations should have been had when the floor was yours. Maybe I don't think you were a colorist, but I think that you play to your light skin privilege, and that applied in my eyes when you said those things about my husband. Let's see. Mims, you are assuming Candace was referring to the audience, but what if she was referring to the actual network and Andy? That's a good point. At this point, Candace just say it. At this point, we're standing with you. Just say it. You had the floor to talk about colorism and you just chose not to. But thank you so much for the super chat. Good point, Autumn. Maybe she was referencing Andy, and maybe she felt like she couldn't just throw him under the bus because her relationship with him is going up, we'll say. Wendy, I don't think you should have said that. Of any time to interject, it just felt very pageant, and it felt like you were pandering to the rest of these women that don't like you. Wendy's the only person in the show that has been victimized, not privileged Candace. Okay, so y'all are up in the fence. People in the chat sided with her Mims. What chat? I coach, which says Chris said Giselle laid across the bed in her robe. No woman uncomfortable with a man would lay across a bed. She was comfortable, but didn't like the optics. Thank you so much for the super chat, I coach, which. It's possible that the colorism segment was longer. Because what they showed us was not great. She has to protect her job. Wendy was right for that. So y'all are really let me see what Gimme Shelter has to say. Gimme Shelter. Wendy was protecting herself and left Candace hanging. Wow. I didn't like it. Wendy was right. She got sense. Hey, Houston Foodie. Very pandery. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Now she had to Google colors. You talking about Mia? Y'all are on it tonight. I'm glad though. Sometimes y'all we can agree to disagree. Sometimes I be seeing subscribers go in. We have 1,300 watching and we only have 700 likes. Let's get to at least 1,000 likes, y'all. So we talked about that. Okay, so this is what Candace said that I definitely agreed with when we're talking in general. And it actually kind of applies to Garcelle. We'll get into how. She said, dark-skinned women claims of harassment are not treated the same. So Garcelle actually has a movie out on Lifetime about that, about how when Black girls are missing, they don't get the same treatment. And I also read an article that was saying, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but the article basically said that the amount of news coverage that missing Black girls get is, I don't know, insignificant in comparison to other races. So I think that plays a role also when we're talking about harassment. In my opinion, I don't think that Black women's claims are treated the same as other races. So for that, I agreed with her. You know my stance on the rest of it. And check out that movie from Garcelle. I think it's on Lifetime. But if you just look up Garcelle, she's been doing press for the movie. I'm definitely gonna check it out. In this scene, Ashley is literally looking for every chance she can find to try to give it to Giselle. Hold on one second. Tony Henderson, thank you again for the super chat. She says, I thought Wendy was being a friend. She was just trying to get Candace to see the optics. If the rest say she's okay. If the rest she says, oh, I thought Wendy was being a friend. She was just trying to get Candace to see the optics. But I think what Tony is saying is that Candace said, I said what I said and I'm sticking to it. So Wendy did get Candace to turn the temperature down, but Candace stood in what she said and how she felt. So I can see what you're saying, Tony. It did turn the heat down a little bit. Ashley gave nothing, just like Karen. Ashley was not activated unless it was to try to take Candace down. I can't take Ashley. I really don't know why. I know Ashley moves the storylines around, or Ashley's like the bone collector of this group, but Ashley is not one of my favorite people. All the women showed each other their coochies. What a segue. I don't understand why the girls need to have these outside of production moments with each other. They don't like you. They never will. So this episode is Coochie Gate. It was a good point. So you guys can flash each other, but you can't make up is pretty much the point. Ray on Karen. Ray said that Karen usually shows constraint and stays above the fray when Karen is with it just as much as the rest of them. Now, Karen may not initiate. I'll say, I'm trying to think. Very few times do I think Karen initiates it, but Karen takes it and runs with it. So I was just thinking, okay, it's kind of cute that Ray thinks that Karen ain't with it and that he's above the rest of the girl. Karen alleges that Juan did not SA her. And you know the first word and then assault. What Karen alleged was SA, even if she wasn't willing to say it. You alleged something that fits into the perimeters of SA. If a man hugs you very tightly and tells you that he wants you, even in joking, to be the third member in a threesome, that is SA. What's weird is that type of behavior where you felt that you needed to go tell your husband, you didn't call HR on Juan, but you called HR on Candace when she told you to go to Hades. Karen, what is this? I believe that it happened, but I'm just kind of like, what is this? Is it like do you just throw this out to get back at Robin? What were you? Again, I believe it happened. I believe she put some sauce on it to get a rise out of people, but then once she was faced with the actual question, she backed off of it. Just my opinion. Karen was enacting her true Karen when she wanted Candace fired. Juan doesn't work for Bravo. Juan doesn't work for Bravo, but he films on the set, which means that HR does have a right to investigate. Even if he doesn't work for Bravo technically, they were on a Bravo set when this happened. This was not SA, inappropriate, yes, but please. I'm just saying, if you go to HR, let's take Juan and Karen out. If you go to HR and you say, my boss squeezed me very hardly and told me he wants me to be the third in the threesome, what is that? They've touched you and they've said something inappropriate. I'm not saying that Juan SA'd her. I'm just saying this is what you alleged when it suited your purposes. And when asked for you to double down on it, you refused to do it. So just saying. I know that y'all like these people, but y'all, I'm a straight shooter. Pow pow. It is what it is. Robin alleged that we're not going to say that. Robin says that Karen was waiting. That Robin was waiting all season for Karen to actually bring up the real brown-haired girl. But why? What would be your point? Not you and these pow pows. It is what it is. Not move on. Candace was angry, and when we're getting this sit down with Robin and Andy, I don't know why this whole sit down was really important, to be honest. Mims, that was not, come on, that was harassment. Again, y'all are on it today. Y'all get so up in arms about your favorites. I will retract. Well, it's S harassment, but maybe not assault. Since we have to be very, very specific today. Yes, I will say that it was S harassment, not SA. See, I'm open to other interpretations. The real estate insider. I don't see. Oh, here we go. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it, man. He keeps his ear to the street about everything involved in real estate. So if something's popping off, he will be showing you their house. So definitely check out the real estate insider. Andy acknowledged Chris was hung out to dry when he referenced the fact that Candace was disappointed. For me, Andy, I don't feel like you appropriately held Giselle's feet to the fire if you knew that Chris was hung out to dry and you had some semblance that Giselle was not telling the truth. So you acknowledging that kind of gave me like a little bit of a side eye, like, so you knew what she was doing and it just kind of, because it's Giselle, it's okay. Passionate about a wife. Robin says she doesn't bring up anything if it doesn't happen while filming production. I showed you guys a video where Mia actually says that production came to them early in the season and said that there was not enough juice and that they were going to have to rev it up. If you had this in your back pocket, Robin, why didn't you bring it up then? If production is actually saying we don't have enough, that would have been the time that you, even though this didn't specifically happen, you're being questioned about Juan's infidelities and you're choosing not to bring it up. What's up, So Deb? Thank you so much for the super sticker. So Deb also has a channel. I think he'll probably be reviewing this show at some point tomorrow. Definitely check him out. Thanks for the super sticker. And when she was saying that she doesn't bring it up unless it's actually during the season, Andy is like side-eyeing the dog out of her. Let's see. Does Robin get tired of publicly defending her husband? It has been alleged that Robin is in PR. Do I think that Robin gets tired of it? No. But do I honestly think at her core that Robin is embarrassed by some of these things that she has to come up with to defend Ron? Like, she literally has to go around the world and back to defend this man. It's kind of sad. But it's one of those things where you are choosing to continuously do this. If you have seen this man cheat on you since the beginning of your relationship, and you don't make him do better, and you divorce him but still live with him and remarry him, and now that you are the breadwinner selling them gas station hats, you still said, I will give him half of whatever if we divorce? What is that? Do you not, like, in all honesty, now this isn't me being shady. This is me being like serious. Is it a self-esteem issue? Do you feel because you have been connected to him for this long that you have to stay with him? Is it just a matter of, like a lot of women do, they stay for the children? What is it? Not only does he cheat on you, but then you are publicly embarrassed because you were on this reality show. I don't know what it is. I feel bad. A lot of you tell me I shouldn't feel bad for Robin, but I feel bad for anybody who has to deal with the cheater and doesn't have the conviction to get out of it. Doesn't I don't know what it is. Dara Alexander, thank you so much. She says Ray was right when he said this season was nasty. It's a bunch of lies. They need a break revamp. It's so draining to watch. Love your channel, by the way. Thank you so much, Dara Alexander. I agree. I've been saying for the last few seasons, they have been. It feels like there was a revamp after the first couple seasons when they just kept talking about etiquette to now, okay, we're going to try to get a soundbite at any cost. We don't care if we destroy marriage. We don't care if we destroy a happy home. We don't care if there's kids involved, because in order to keep this show on in our check, we really do need to say whatever. This season, guys, has been a struggle because although there were funny moments, most of it was like, what are we watching? We all knew that Chris did nothing to that woman and she was not deserving of an apology because he didn't do anything to her. It pissed a lot of people off. It pissed a whole lot of people off. You guys can put in the comments. You guys can put in the chat. What would you like to see different from Potomac next year? It was a horrible season. It sucked really bad. He made her feel uncomfortable. They're really trying to hang on to not only having one black franchise. RHO has never made me this upset. I can't wait to RHO. I'm actually excited about Girls Trip. I will be reviewing Girls Trip. It comes out March 23rd. Do y'all have Peacock? A new cast, a cast revamp, new people. Get rid of Jizzy and Roberto. Now don't get me wrong. I kind of want to see Giselle on the cast without Rob the Builder, just so that she has to stand on her own. I would like to see that because she has had backup from Rob the Builder. Trent, now you know they're about to come for you. Steph Boogie says constantly defending a husband that doesn't even show up for you is a horrible feeling. I almost feel bad for Rob. Steph, I'm with you. I don't know what she would need to do. Like, now you're stuck because if you divorce him, he's going to get half of your money. And if she doesn't have this show and he doesn't have the job, they're going to be right back to where they were season 1. Gabor likes to let y'all know they didn't even have money to keep the water hot. So, yeah, Peacock. What happened on Watch What Happens Live? I don't know. I'll probably have to do a video about that. If you have ATT, you get Peacock for free. Yes, Peacock shows are better than Bravo. Okay, so y'all are watching. Good. I'll definitely be there. Also, if you're just getting here, please like the video and say hello to Giselle, my special guest for the night. She's been really quiet. And she has a little bit of a camel toe, but that's all right. Tomorrow, if you are just getting here, I did an interview with Peter's ex-girlfriend. Her name is Tony. She had a lot to say about a lot of the stuff that went on. It was a really good interview. It was such a good interview that Mia and G watched it and they had thoughts. So Mia has sent me what she considers to be her receipts, and I will be doing a video that will be dropping about that tomorrow at like probably around 8 a.m. That video should drop. Now, guys, with that being said, I'm a fair content creator. If Tony chooses to respond, my platform is there for her. So if she chooses to respond to that video, I will let you guys know when I will get another interview with her. But yeah, everything in my life has been extremely crazy for like the last, probably since New Year's. And I appreciate all of you guys who hit me up and send me words of encouragement, who have prayed for my friend Andy, who have prayed for my sister. It actually means a lot to me. You don't understand. It means a whole lot to me. And I come on here and I give you guys a whole lot of like foolishness and my opinions and behind the scenes stuff. But it really does feel like it's like a for real community. And I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you guys. Potomac is over, but I'm still going to be turning out the content for a lot of hot topics. I'm going to be doing Ultimate Girls Trip, RHOA when it comes. And I hope you guys stick around for the ride. We're not done with this yet. Tuesday night, I will be doing a live where all of you are welcome to come up and actually give your opinions on the show, the season, the reunion, my interview with Tony, the receipts from Mia. That will be Tuesday, and everybody is welcome. I will rotate that panel so that everybody has a chance to talk, because that last panel, we're not doing 3 hours, but we definitely can have a conversation, and I would enjoy that. So Potomac is over, guys. What you doing on your break, Giselle? She's been real quiet. Thank you guys so much. I will see you Tuesday for sure live to allow you guys to come up and have y'all say, because this has been a whole lot. It's been a lot. Thank you guys. Good night. See you tomorrow. I got to go to bed because I got work. Bye, y'all.